Malcolm nodded, but he really didn't want to talk business, especially with that. As the Yale and Harvard Business School grad with platinum hair, a firm grasp of Japanese was way too rara AC for him at the moment. You know, Malcolm, I couldn't help overhearing a bit of what Carney was telling you earlier today. Malcolm raised his eyebrows. He hadn't seen such a move close enough to him. Listen, but there he had been concentrating on what Carney had been saying. He wasn't surprised that a competitive trader as Sutter was. He wouldn't want to know what his competition was up to. I know Carney can seem a bit harsh sometimes, but he was our best interest at heart. Deep down, he's really a good egg. Tremendously generous, extremely accepting, much more that you'd expect from someone of his background. Malcolm felt the skin above his eyes wrinkle, a resulting shard of pain where the doctors had stitched up his cheek. What do you mean, someone of his background? Malcolm flashed back to the night after he'd found about Georgette when Carney had told him his life story. He remembered feeling extremely close to the man because the story had seemed similar to his own. A poor kid from Detroit, orphaned by accident, who got into Princeton by chance, working his ass off, and he made himself into something great. His background, Sutter repeated. He grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. Exeter, then Princeton, all paid by his father, one of the richest men in Southern California. Carney could have turned out a regular ass like most of the people I knew when I was in Dexter and later in Yale, but Carney realized the value of hard work. He wanted to establish himself on his own without his family help. He inspired me to try and do the same. Malcolm leaned back against the elevator wall. Complete utter shock. Carney had told Malcolm, a poor kid from New Jersey who had gotten in Princeton on a football scholarship, that he himself had come from a rough tumble background and made it through hard work. Carney had told such a prep from Exeter, Yale, and HBC that he himself was a silver spoon brand who had made good because he had need to prove himself. Carney had lied to one of them or both of them. Carney had told them that they wanted to hear what they needed to hear to become loyal to him, to worship him, to want to be just like him. With Carney, it was all about finding avenues to profit. Malcolm, Sutter, Karen, and the rest of them, they were all them. Malcolm believed that it was all about profit, but not at the expense of the people around him. It was about making as much money as you could do in a competitive environment, but it wasn't over people who believed in you and endangering their lives. They were avenues of profit. By the time the taxi dropped Malcolm in front of his apartment building, the thoughts swarming through his head had reached a fever pitch. He was absolutely furious. Репетитор по скайпу, Smart Teacher 190.